Hello. So I found an old Dundee save where I was doing an own personal challenge to try and win the Champions League within 2 seasons with this Dundee squad. Um, I did actually sign everything possible I could manage to sign with the team rep and in terms of wages. Um, well, let's first off start with the squad I've got at the start of season three, who have been there since the start of the save. So if we're looking through here, I started the squad with two very good goalkeepers. So I had Langfield and Speroni. Speroni in real life went to play for Crystal Palace in the Premier League, if I remember. But yeah, he's a very good, he's a very decent backup goalkeeper. But Langfield, he's just recently got a Scottish cap, and he was very good. 37 clean sheets in 62 games last season. Lee Wilkie, who starts in the squad, he's good, but he's not like next level centre back. He's on loan at. I think he's just about to go out on loan at Werder Bremen. Yeah, so he will be there. Chiladze, who you can't sign because of work permit issues, but if you do offer him indispensable to the club, he sometimes does get a work permit. So he was okay, but considering he hasn't reached his potential yet, he's still only 18. But as you can see, like in the future, and loads of big clubs in Europe want him. Well, not at the moment, but just Watford. But there was a few big giants sniffing around him before. Obviously, Mike Duff, everyone knows him from 0102, and he's excellent on this version as well. Just look at that. These are from long throws as well. So I set up my long throws. That's where he's getting all his assists from. Because I'll explain the tactic once I go through the squad. Lee Mayer, who starts in the squad, look at him for an attacking fullback. Obviously, he's developed as well. So when I started, he was probably about crossing 13, dribbling 17. But he's gone. Some of his technicals have flown up now, and yeah, he's very good. Um, this guy I'd recently signed as a backup from RKC in Holland. He looks like he's got some decent potential, and he's got similar kind of attributes. Not as good technically as Mar, but he can replace him and rotate with him. Signed Amara from Atletico Madrid B, who's only played one game so far. Um, Yao Paulo. When I signed him, all these were 14s on his technicals. They've started to move up to 15s now. I've got in some good coaches, obviously, as well. So for 160k, he's probably going to be a complete defender in the future, and you'll probably see his description go to complete defender. But at the moment, he's just centre back. I'm not sure if Wilkie's a complete defender. Yeah, he is, but he lacks some pace, which you see in the match engine, which concedes goals some games. So I thought, yeah, he's probably only going to be a backup in the future, and obviously his potential for current ability, he's probably not going to be nothing more than an average Premier League player, yeah, English Premier League player. Even though I'm in Scotland, but he's probably going to be around that potential. Um, this guy you can pick up on a free at the start of the game. Same problem, he doesn't get a work permit, but if you offer him indispensable to the club, obviously his attributes have spiked as well from just playing 2 years of football. But if you can see by his average ratings, he's an immense player on the game. I use him either as the holding midfield centre as more of a defensive duty, or I play him as a centre back. So he's a very useful player to have. Um, who else? I've recently signed him from Liverpool. He's apparently becomes one of the best defenders on the game, and he was transfer listed in their youth team, so I just signed him. Well, according to a list I read, Scott Willis, you can pick him up really cheap at the start of the game. How much did I pay for him? 55k. Look at his average ratings. That's a holding midfielder as well. 7 assists in 51 games. And his tackling's slowly going up. And because I'm playing even more attacking this season, he started to contribute even more on the assists. Or going forward. Cosgrove, who I signed from Ayr just at the start of this season. I've never heard of this player before, but he done that in the league below. He's not going to do that in the top league, obviously, but yeah, he's got a lot of potential. certainly on this load. I don't know if he's like a known freak on the game, but Oscarson certainly is. If you look at him now, he's moving towards complete forward territory from powerful striker, which will probably change on his description eventually. But if we go to Oscarson, yeah, he's started to hit good numbers now. A Zambian international I signed. He came up on the scout, so I thought I'd take a punt on him. He hasn't played a lot of games yet, so we'll wait and see how he does. Mark Kerr, obviously, another cheap signing. He hasn't really. He started to really play better in the third season, 3 assists in 4 games. So I'm hoping even more. But he's only recently started to get crazy attribute spikes on his technicals, so he's only going to get better and better. Available at the 3 as well, Babangida. Look at him in the first season. He starts to lose his pace a bit as he starts to get older because he's just coming to 30 now. So he's still effective, but he's not going to be the same player he was in season 1, where he's basically averaged an assist a game. But you can pick him up on the 3 as well, and you've got no work permit issues there because he's had enough caps already. Jonathan Benato, who I've just signed, who was expiring at Parma, or Inter, sorry. So we'll see how he does in Scotland. Richie Partridge, he's a youngster at Liverpool. He starts the game on loan at Coventry. Decent first season, and he's started to get really high attribute spikes now. Quick winger in his description. Just signed him as a backup. He wasn't getting played in Spain, so I picked him up. He didn't want that much wages either, so we'll see how he does. Or Larson, same as Oscarson, you can pick him up from an Icelandic team for very cheap, 35k. He scored 73 goals, then 69 in the second season, and he's started this season just the same. Christiansen, similar to Oscarson. He's not as good as Oscarson or Haralison, but he's still decent, and we'll see how he gets on. Voigt, who started in my youth academy, but he was the only striker I really focused on playing, and since he started to have first team football, he could be a really good backup, perhaps to Olarsson and Oscarson in the future. Description: quick striker. Reserves is mainly just full of youngsters or players I don't want. If I go to transfers in and out, so we go to season 2. Season 34. Richie Partridge was my biggest signing, I think, for 450k. He came up on the scout report, only 19, so Billy Jones as well from Crewe. He started to develop now. He got a few games last season. I picked up this Poulsen from a Norwegian team, only for 8k, but as soon as he started to go into my training setup, his attributes, and because of his age, he's progressing really quickly. Because of the whole aim of the challenge was to win the Champions League by the end of season 2, we'll have a look at season 1. I came second, point behind Celtic, and we also lost the Scottish Cup final to Rangers. But yeah, you can see from the results I wasn't really losing that many games. If we go to season 3, season 2, sorry. Yeah, I lost the Champions League final to Liverpool in a game I couldn't get into. But it was quite similar with the semis where we were outplayed, but it was just my strikers were so lethal that we got through the tie. Because yeah, so we had Inter after the group, we had Inter in the second round, who we beat 3-1 and 6-1. The 6-1 home game, Mike Duff scoring 2 penalties. and Oskarsson and Ararlison. We're 3-0 up after what, 15 minutes? Then we had Dortmund. Oh no, sorry, I've gone way too far. So we had Inter. We won the Scottish League Cup as well. Did we win the League Cup? Yeah, it's been a while since I've... Yeah, we did win the League Cup. We beat Aberdeen in the final 6-0. My team was really tired from memory when I played the save. I was having to rotate a lot. If you look at the form towards the end of the season, it really dipped. But it was probably the standard of opposition, and I was rotating players in the league games because it kept saying that my whole entire squad basically needed a rest because I was overplaying the players, and the matches were like every 3 days for like a long time because we was in 4 or 5 competitions at once. Yeah, so the Man United in the semis as well, 3-0. We outplayed them at home, but they outplayed us away. It was only because we had well, Arsenal obviously always scores. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a little video about it, just with some of the players that I could have got. So I done it. If anyone, it was like really fun to do. I doubt I'll play it again now, or I might do like very occasionally. But it was just when I was going through some old saves, I thought I might as well just upload the video to it. If I go to value with the players as well. So Olarsson's like the main one. I think Oskarsson and Olarsson have both got caps now, which is to be expected, but they don't seem to start them. They start because they've got Idog or Johnson, and they play this Sigarsson a lot as well. But anyway, thanks for watching.